Hello and welcome to my video. In this YouTube, I'm going to demonstrate two inexpensive ways to record digital audio from an E463 keyboard into an iPhone or an iPad. Now, I'm not talking about making a video with the camera. I'm talking about just recording the sound out of the keyboard. So the goal, record an E463 keyboard sound into an iPhone or an iPad using high quality 100% digital audio. What I don't want to use are the speakers built into this keyboard. These are just little tiny 4-inch oval speakers, and quite frankly, I've never thought they're all that good. So what I want to do is I want to capture the sound coming out of this keyboard, capture it in my iPhone, but I want to use pure 100% digital audio, which is the very best sound I can possibly get from this keyboard. That's the challenge. What can I do with my recorded music? So once I've got it recorded in my iPhone or iPad, what can I do with it? Well, I could email my music to someone, or I could send it to someone in a text message. I could collaborate with other musicians. So what I might do is I might sit down and I'll record, let's say, a piano part of a song, and then I send that to you, and you could add the drums or the guitars, and we could work back and forth. I used to do this with a friend that lived in Oklahoma. We collaborated on songs all the time by sending our work back and forth. Maybe what you want to do is you want to accompany yourself. You're going to go do a live performance. So you take several weeks and you record songs. You record the drums and the guitars and the bass guitars, and then you play the piano lead or the saxophone lead. So to accompany yourself. Maybe what you want to do is store all of your work up in the iCloud. Maybe what you want to do is you want to share it with the world. So you want to send it up into SoundCloud. And 175 million people every month log into SoundCloud to listen to music that people all over the world have put up there for free. Maybe what you want to do is store it online in a box or Dropbox so that you can share it with others. I do this all the time. I give presentations and I take all of my slides and I put them up into Dropbox so that the people who attend my presentations can download all of my slides. Or maybe what you want to do is take your music and send it up into YouTube, where 2 billion people around the world can listen to it. These are all valid reasons as to why would I want to record the music sound out of my keyboard. So what do you need? And the answer is going to be, it's really pretty simple. Well, first of all, we need an iPhone or an iPad. Now, I have a 9-year-old iPad and a 5-year-old iPhone 8 Plus, and these work just fine. My point is, you don't need to have the latest, greatest version of the iPhone or the iPad to do everything that I'm about to show you. Obviously, my iPad is 9 years old, and it works just great to do everything I'm going to tell you. Well, what about Android phones, you say? Here's the reality. This is a picture of me taken about 15 years ago. I recently retired a few years ago after 30 years with Apple. I was Apple's senior education executive, so I have never used an Android phone in my life. So I'll let someone who knows about Androids put up a YouTube. What I know is Apple and iPhones and iPads. So here's the first thing. You're going to have to buy some things. You're going to need a cable. And this is because our E463 keyboard doesn't have any wireless in it. The only way to get sound out of it is to plug a wire into it. You have two choices. You can use a USB printer cable, which is going to cost you somewhere between $6 and $10, depending upon how long it is. Or you can buy a 1/4-inch audio cable. For all of you guitar players, this is the same cable that I've been using to plug in my guitar for the last 60 years. And the 1/4-inch audio cable, the guitar cable, plugs in here. It says phone/output. That's where that cable goes. And here is where the USB plugs into. It says to host. So that's where you're going to plug in your USB. So there's two different ways of getting the sound out of the keyboard and into my iPhone. And I'll explain all about it in just a second. There's two other things you're going to need. It's either one or the other. You're going to have to buy a lightning to headphone jack, which will cost you about $9. You can log on to the Apple online store and order it direct from Apple, and they'll ship it to your home. Or you need a lightning to USB 3 camera adapter, which is $39. Don't be bothered by the word camera. We're going to use it for music. People with cameras use it to plug cameras into their iPhones and their iPads, and that's okay. One cable does a variety of things. So you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to pull this off. Now, you may need to go out and buy this thing, the Peterson iPhone adapter cable. It cost a whopping $13. Now, I'm going to show you two pictures. Here's the two ways that you can get sound from the keyboard into the iPhone. The first one is go buy a 1/4-inch cable and then go buy that Peterson adapter and then buy one of those little $9 lightning to headphone jacks and plug it all together. So I go from audio cable to Peterson adapter into the headphone jack, and finally that plugs into my iPhone. And that will take sound from the keyboard and pump it into my iPhone. That's one way. And this is the cheap way. This is only going to cost you about $30 if you add up the cost of the audio cable, the Peterson adapter, and the headphone jack. Approximately $30, depending upon how long is your cable, for example. Here's the other way. Go buy a USB cable, plug that into the back, and then plug that into the lightning to USB 3 camera adapter, and then plug that directly into your iPhone. Now, you also need to plug power into this. So go get your iPhone charger that came with your iPhone or your iPad and plug that into this camera adapter. This device needs power. It needs power to get that sound all the way into the iPhone. Okay, so let me back up again. You can use an audio cable and the Peterson adapter and the headphone jack, and that's about $30. Or you can use a USB cable, the camera adapter, and that's going to be about $48. This solution has an advantage because this cable, not only does it carry the sound from the keyboard, but it also carries MIDI data. And you can send MIDI data into GarageBand, and you have a 32-track audio studio, and you have access to 145 additional instruments. I have made a complete YouTube video on how to use GarageBand. Okay? So, two different ways, two different cables to get the sound into your iPhone. So, what software do you need? You have two choices. And the good news is they're both free. You can install something called Voice Record, or you can install the famous GarageBand from Apple. Voice record, the advantage of this is it's really simple. It's about 2 or 3 touches, taps of my finger to record a song and share it. GarageBand is very powerful. This is an entire audio recording studio. Either one of these works. You can download them both. It depends upon, of course, which cable do you want to buy. But either cable system works with either one of these pieces of software. It doesn't matter. Both of them will work. So this is what voice record looks like. I've taken a screenshot of my iPhone. And so what you do is with your finger, you tap, do you want low, medium, or high quality sound? And then you come down here and tap record. So what I did is I fired up voice record and I made a little movie of my iPhone screen. And I'm going to play that movie for you right now. So this is a live demonstration of how to use voice record. So here we go. Here we are in voice record, and I'm looking at all of my previous recordings. I'm ready to start recording, so in the lower left-hand corner, I'm going to tap the red record button. Ready? Tap. Now I get to decide what quality I want, low, medium, or high, and I just tap with my finger. I'm tapping medium right in the middle. So I'm ready to record. I'm going to hit the record button, lower left corner, the bright red one. Ready? Click. So here we are, we're recording, and you can see it's showing me the time, and there's a sensitivity meter showing me how loud I'm recording. So when I'm done, I'm just going to reach out and tap the little white square right in the middle of the bottom of the screen. Ready? Tap. And it's done. And now it wants to know what I want to do with it. And as you can see, I can email it, I can text it, I can save it to all of these different places, I can upload it to YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Lots of things that I can do with this once I am done. And that's how easy it is to use voice record. Basically, 2 taps of my finger. Okay, back to me now. So I hope what you saw was this is really easy. 2 or 3 taps of your fingers and you're done. And then with 1 tap of my finger, I can email it, or I can text it, or I can save it to Google Drive or Dropbox, or I can save it up to iCloud. I can send it into SoundCloud, and there are other options. So this is really, really easy to record the music and then to save it or send it or share it with anyone. Just 2 or 3 taps of your finger is all it takes. GarageBand, this is what the recording interface looks like when I'm set up to record the sound out of my keyboard. Now I'm not going to demonstrate that because I have done an entire YouTube on exactly how to use GarageBand on an iPad with the Yamaha E463 keyboard. So I won't waste time showing you what you can do or how to do it. I've already made a nice YouTube that explains in great detail how to record something from the keyboard into GarageBand. The purpose of this video is to show you how do you hook up the iPad or the iPhone, what wires, what devices do you need, and I've already shown you exactly what you need. So this is one of the screens after I'm done with GarageBand and I want to share it. I can send it to someone by a text message, or I can email it to someone, or with 1 click of my mouse I can upload it to SoundCloud. And once again, I can save it and share it once I'm done recording the sound. So that's it. That's how you hook up an E463 keyboard to an iPhone or an iPad and record the sound coming out of it in high quality digital audio. I hope you have found this helpful. I'd like to thank you for watching, and be well.